Hello everyone, and welcome to our lesson for today. In today's lesson, we are focusing on the second part of getting to know letters. Let's get started.
Materials!
If you have that special handwriting paper, go ahead and grab that. If not, any paper will work just fine. There are 3 learning targets for our lesson today. The first one says, I can search for letters in a familiar text or poem, the letters N and C. Our second target says, I can identify the name and sound for the letters N and C. And our last target says, I can follow directions for writing the letters N and C.
Read aloud.
I'm going to read the poem, My Cat Noodles, and I want you to listen carefully as I read through it. My cat Noodles and I went for a hike one day. We walked near the creek and began to play. We saw a cute newt on a rock in the creek. We crept up slowly so we could take a peek. Noodles tried to catch it, but the newt was too fast. It appeared again, and I thought, we'll capture it at last. But the newt was very sneaky and still snuck past. This time, I'm going to read through the poem again. And as I read through it the second time, I want you to listen very closely and see if you can hear any words that begin with the letters N or C. If you do, I want you to touch your nose anytime you hear me say a word that begins with the letter C or N. Any letter that makes the K sound or the N sound. I want you to touch your nose. Ready? Here we go. My cat Noodles. My cat Noodles and I went for a hike one day. We walked near the creek and began to play. We saw a cute newt on a rock in the creek. We crept up slowly so we could take a peek. Noodles tried to catch it, but the newt was too fast. It appeared again, and I thought, we'll capture it at last. But the newt was very sneaky and still snuck past. Oh my goodness, there were so many C and N words in that poem. I hope you remember to touch your nose every time you heard a word that began with the letters C and N. Nice job.
Sounds.
Now it's time to say our letter sound chant. Remember those key words we learned yesterday for the letters C and N? We are going to use those key words to help us because remember, those are the keys to unlocking the sounds we hear. We'll start with the letter N, and I want you to repeat them after me. Ready? N, N, newt. N, N, newt. C, k, cat. C, k, cat. Nice job with your letter sound chant.
Writing.
Now let's try and skywrite our letters N and C. We'll start with the uppercase N. I want you to watch me first. I'm going to practice skywriting the letter and make the sound, and then you can try. Ready? Watch me as I skywrite the uppercase N. N. Now you try. Good. Now let's try our lowercase n. Remember, we start in the middle. N. You try. Nice work. Now let's try our letter C. Watch me first as I practice skywriting the uppercase C and making the sound. And then it'll be your turn. Ready? C. K. C. Your turn. Now let's try the lowercase c. Ready? Here we go. C. K. C. K. Your turn. Awesome job skywriting and making the sounds. Now it's time to do some really fun learning. It's time to practice with our handwriting paper. If you have the paper with the mouse, grab that. Remember, if you don't, it's okay too. The mouse helps to guide us when we write in our handwriting paper, but it's okay if you don't have it. We're going to start writing with the uppercase N. So watch as I start. We're going to take our pencil and put it at that top line, and we're going to drag it down all the way to the bottom line, and then pick up our pencil, go back up to the top line, and make a diagonal line all the way down to the bottom line. Pick our pencil up, go back up to the top line, and drag it all the way down to the bottom line. And we have our uppercase N. Now let's try to make our lowercase n. With our lowercase n, we start in the middle on the belly line. Put your pencil on the middle line and then drag the line down to the bottom line. Pick up your pencil, come back to the middle line and make a hump and go back down to the bottom line. And we just made a lowercase n. Now it's time to make our uppercase C. We're going to take our pencil and put it a little bit under the headline at the top. And we're going to come around and curve to the left, all the way around to the bottom line, to the foot line, and then come up just a little bit. And we've just made our uppercase C. Now we're going to make our lowercase c. We're going to put our pencil in the middle on the middle line or the belly line and come around, making another curve around to the foot line, and then coming back up just a little bit to curve our letter C. And we've just made our lowercase c. Nice work with your handwriting.
Closing reflection.
It's time to close and reflect our lesson for today, and I have 2 questions for you. My first question is, when we write the letter N, how can we remember where to start? And my second question is, how will that help us with writing? Good thinking. Keep up the good work practicing writing the letters N and C. Thanks for joining me for our lesson today and learning more about the letters N and C. I will see you next time. Bye.